cheat sheet for understanding investments.
Well, today's your lucky day.
We're diving deep into how to make your money work for you, right?
That's right, from the stock market to real estate, even starting your own business.
We're talking about taking control of your financial future.
And you don't have to be a Wall Street wizard to get it.
This deep dive is tailored just for you, our listeners, so let's get right to it.
Sounds good to me.
Our sources this week are all about smart investing, and they all seem to agree that understanding the stock market is a great place to start.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's all about buying shares of companies you believe in and, fingers crossed, reaping the rewards as those companies grow.
And one of the best ways to get your feet wet, as our financial advisor suggests, is through index funds or ETFs.
Okay, so break it down for us.
Yeah.
What makes index funds and ETFs a good starting point for someone who's new to all of this?
It's like a simplified way to diversify your investments. Instead of trying to pick winning stocks, which, let's be honest, can feel like a gamble, you're essentially investing in a bunch of stocks all at once.
Makes sense.
These baskets of stocks, they track a specific market index, like the S&P 500.
So instead of betting everything on one horse, you're spreading your bet across like hundreds of companies.
Exactly.
Diversification made easy.
Right, and our experts suggest thinking beyond just stocks too, Like consider throwing some bonds and commodities into the mix as well to really spread that risk.
It sounds like we need to add exploring different asset classes to our financial to-do list because I've always been curious about those but never knew where to start.
It's a good idea to diversify as much as you can.
Now let's switch gears from the stock market to something a bit more, tangible real estate.
Sure.
It's always intrigued me as an investment.
Yeah, real estate can be a great way to build wealth,
Yeah.
offering both rental income and the potential for long-term growth, what we call appreciation.
Appreciation, meaning the value of the property goes up over time.
Exactly.
Got it.
Now, it's not a guaranteed win.
Of course not.
Our real estate expert really emphasizes that location, market trends, the actual condition of the property, they all play a huge role.
So you can't just buy any old property and expect to make a killing.
Exactly. Thorough research is absolutely key.
Now, for those of us who aren't ready to become landlords, what are our options?
Well, REITs are a good option.
REITs being?
Real estate investment trusts.
Okay.
They're a way to invest in real estate without actually having to own and manage property directly.
So no late night calls from tenants or dealing with plumbing emergencies?
Exactly.
That does sound appealing.
You're basically investing in a company that owns and manages income-producing properties.
So we've covered stocks, real estate, but what about those of us who maybe dream of starting our own business?
Right. Now things get really interesting.
Is starting a business considered an investment?
Well, our resident entrepreneur, someone who's actually built a successful business from scratch, emphasizes that it all starts with finding a gap in the market, identifying a need that's not being met, and figuring out a way to fill it.
So it's not just about having a brilliant idea, but making sure people actually want it, will pay for it.
Exactly. And while starting a business can be incredibly rewarding, it also takes a ton of dedication, hard work, and obviously some money to get off the ground.
That makes sense, but what about those of us who don't have the time or resources to launch a full-blown business?
There's definitely alternative ways to tap into the entrepreneurial world.
Like what?
Equity crowdfunding, for example.
I've heard that term before, but I'll be honest, I'm a little fuzzy on the details.
Sure.
What exactly is equity crowdfunding?
It's basically investing in startups and small businesses that you believe in through online platforms.
So you're an early investor, but on a smaller scale.
Exactly.
That sounds much more accessible.
And it aligns with our theme of making your money work for you.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Stocks, real estate, even starting your own business.
It's a lot to take in, right?
It can feel overwhelming for someone just starting out.
Definitely.
So where do we even begin?
Well, our sources all point to a few key principles, which we'll get into after a quick break.
Sounds good. So we've got all these investment options, but how do we actually get started? What are the key principles our sources highlighted?
Well, the first thing is to figure out what you're actually aiming for,
Yeah, what are our goals?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you saving for retirement? Trying to buy a house? Maybe travel the world?
Having a clear goal in mind, it's like setting your destination before hitting the gas.
Right, because your goals will shape your investment decisions.
Makes sense. So what's next?
Education, man.
Yeah.
The more you know about different investments, the better decisions you'll make.
Knowledge is power, for sure, especially with money.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to start small. You don't need to be Warren Buffett right out of the gate.
So you're saying it's better to start with a little bit of money and gradually invest more as you gain confidence?
That's the idea.
Yeah.
And another thing, patience is key.
Oh, tell me about it.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
There will be ups and downs in the market, but don't freak out and sell everything when things get bumpy.
Ride those waves, stay the course.
Exactly.
So, to recap, set clear goals, educate ourselves, start small, be patient.
That's it. You got it.
That sounds pretty doable, actually.
It is. Remember, investing isn't about getting rich quick. It's about making smart decisions to reach your financial goals over time.
It's about building a solid future, one step at a time.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, so we've covered the what, stocks, real estate, businesses, and the how goals. Education, starting small, being patient.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
But now I'm wondering, where do we go from here? What's the next step for our listeners?
Well, it goes back to what we said earlier about this deep dive being tailored to each individual.
Right, it's not a one size fits all thing.
Exactly. There's no right or wrong answer when it comes to choosing the investment path that's right for you.
It's about figuring out what works best for you, your goals, your comfort level.
And we've given you the tools to do just that.
Exactly. We've explored the stock market, real estate, entrepreneurship. It's been quite a journey.
It has. Now it's up to you to decide what resonates with you, what aligns with your risk appetite.
Right. What are you most interested in? What makes the most sense for your financial goals?
Because at the end of the day, the most important thing is making informed decisions. And hopefully, this deep dive has empowered you to do that.
So, as we wrap things up, we want to leave you with something to think about. If you had to pick just one avenue to explore further stocks, real estate, or starting a business, which one would it be?
It's a tough choice. But don't stop learning, don't stop exploring, and remember,
This is a marathon, not a sprint.
you got it.
And on that note, we'll be back next time with another deep dive. It's like our entrepreneur said, sometimes the best opportunities come from blazing your own trail.
Yeah, finding what works for you, not just following the crowd.
Exactly, because everyone's financial journey is different.
That's right, there's no one-size-fits-all approach to investing.
It's about figuring out what you're comfortable with, what aligns with your goals.
And don't be afraid to think beyond the usual stocks and real estate, too.
Oh, you mean like what else is out there?
There's a whole world of alternative investments, things like peer-to-peer lending or even investing in art or collectibles.
Wow, I didn't even think about that.
It's about keeping an open mind and doing your research.
Always learning.
Absolutely, because the investment landscape is constantly changing.
So it's a journey, not a destination, right?
Exactly. Just start learning, start investing, and don't get discouraged if you don't become a millionaire overnight.
Because even the most successful investors, they were all beginners once.
That's right. Everyone starts somewhere.
The important thing is to just take that first step.
Exactly. And be patient with yourself.
Start small, stay informed, be patient, and most importantly, find what feels right for you.
Well said. That's the key to successful investing, finding your own path.
And on that note, we're wrapping up this deep dive into the world of investments.
We hope you feel inspired and empowered to take control of your financial future.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive into the topics that matter most to you.